All right, everyone. Thank you for being here for the December and the last one for the 2025 Business Connect call. These were started by our city manager not too long ago, so we're very excited to have this come along here. We're just kind of doing it a little differently there. There we go. So we're very excited to have these conversations as we're going through because we have some great stuff happening here. I do want to thank all of the city staff for joining us as well. We do have the fire chief here. Thank you, chief, for being here. We have our director of public works, Noah. Thank you for being here as well. But I do also want to give recognition to one of our council members, Joel Mouse, for being here. Council member, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we also have our city manager, Mr. Mark Press, which will go ahead and pass the baton and get us started this morning with any words of encouragement and get us started this morning.
Well, good morning, everyone. Ben wished me a happy Friday, so I want to wish everyone else a happy Friday as well. I think he's just inspired by that Chick-fil-A pop-up over at the Hemet Auto Mall that will be serving chicken sandwiches on Friday. Free plug there, Ben. But we're grateful for your participation today, and we're looking forward to learning about some new programs.
Perfect.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely, council member.
I'd like to wish our city manager, Mark Presswich, a happy birthday.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry, former mayor.
It is today is the day then.
It's actually tomorrow. It's actually formally in about 20 hours.
I take it back.
What this means, council member, is I get a discount for certain types of meals soon. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Tonight, our chicken meal is on you, or on me.
Oh, man. Well, happy birthday. Wow. We're going to have to celebrate.
Oh, happy birthday. Yeah.
Well, it just got even better now that we know that city manager's birthday is along here. So it is fantastic. I believe it's the big 2-1. So congratulations. We can go out, get a drink now, you know?
That's right. Finally.
There we go. Well, great way to start off then this morning with some birthday celebrations. And this is great. So we do have a full agenda. We're going to try to keep it here within 30 minutes. And then once we're done with our kind of our presentation, getting to know the SBA, I'll pass it over to our directors here on the line to share anything that they have that they would want our businesses to know, so on and so forth. So without further ado, so we can just be on the same page, and bear with me as I'm switching galleries. I'm just trying to find the best one that works for this presentation here. So just well, that's the reason it keeps switching. So we do have this morning Silva Gutierrez from the Small Business Administration out of the SBA, and we're very excited to have her here. I was able to connect with her when I first started here at the city of Hemet about 10 months ago now, and we've done a lot of great work in regards to grassroots, finding business solutions for small businesses, and more importantly, at no cost services to businesses. We understand that here in the city of Hemet, we have 96.2% are small businesses, 0 to 20. So we want to make sure that our small businesses know who we are. So Sylvia, thank you for joining us this morning. How is everything?
Yes, thank you. Everything's going well. Thanks. I'm excited to be here with you and to share about the SBA with your community, with everyone. Thank you, everyone, and good morning. Looking forward to working more with you, and of course, to I would like to get some nominations from your area about the businesses that are growing out there in Hemet and get some recognition to the area.
Absolutely. So this kind of form is a little differently. We don't necessarily do a full-on presentation. Just picture us being at a conference up on stage with some nice couches, and we're just going to have a conversation. This is what today is. So Sylvia, so let's just get straight to it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your work history, maybe what got you into the SBA, just so people are a little more familiar with yourself.
Yeah, I know that was an interesting question when I saw it and you were asking me about my background in regards to businesses, but um fast fast backward and then fast forward. When I was in college, I worked in retail for many years, And when I was working in retail, it was really interesting. I worked in the Garment District downtown Los Angeles, and I also got a job in retail stores, and one of them was Saks Fifth Avenue. And at that time, I thought it was just going to be a part-time job, and that it was not really going to take me anywhere, but it was an area where it was close to my home growing up, and it was an area where I could go to downtown LA and get a job, and then at the same time I could continue going to school. I went to East LA College for a couple of years, and then I transferred with a scholarship to USC. After USC, at USC I studied international business, and then I took a couple of years off, continued working in retail, and then wanted to go back to school to get a master's degree. And at that time, I applied to several schools, and I was recommended to apply because I wanted to study international relations and business. I had a professor who recommended that I go that apply that I should apply to a university back east, and to continue studying for the master's degree. And I did. I applied to several schools, and I got accepted at the American University in Washington, D.C. And again, one of the reasons why I accepted going to Washington, D.C. is because I needed to continue working either weekend or part-time to help myself through school. And I thought, there are just plenty of places in Washington, D.C. where I can get a job. And so I graduated from the American University with a degree in economics and business and international business as well. After that, or while I was studying for the thesis, I got a job with a company that did international business development. And first, I was an intern, and shortly after, I became a business development specialist, which is the similar title to what I have right now. And at that time was business development internationally, and it was like a dream job because it took me internationally to do business development to many countries that I would not have been able to um to do on my own. It was very exciting to do that kind of a job. It was business development internationally. And at that time, this was a company that worked as a broker. And what we did is we did businesses for American furniture manufacturers. They needed a company that went abroad to sell their goods. And the interesting thing about that is that at that time they had a government contract with the State Department to sell American furniture, not only high-end residential furniture, and this is very interesting for American manufacturers, not only residential furniture, but office furniture to the American embassies abroad. And my job was to go and visit the procurement officers at the American embassies abroad to make sure they bought American. They could buy locally, but they had to buy American. And that was our ticket with this company. They had a government contract for like 7 or 8 years. I came in the beginning, um, and had the opportunity to work there and learn a lot, um, about international business, about small business.
Yes.
And it was really very exciting. So after working for this company, the contract ended, actually went to another company, and I was downsized, but they still kept me. And in the transition, I got to work at the World Bank and the IMF,
Mhm.
and my jobs were temporary. And I wanted a full-time job, and I also wanted to come back to California because my family was here.
Good
So I
move.
took that opportunity to come back to California. And looking and looking, I found that the SBA local district office had a job for a loan specialist in disaster. And interestingly enough, they wanted somebody who spoke Spanish fluently, that knew how to speak and write Spanish. And I was lucky to be in that position because when I was in high school, I took Spanish up to advanced levels, writing and translation, because eventually I wanted to work for a large organization like the UN. So I made sure I learned my languages like French and Spanish, and that I learned them well. And that's how I started at the SBA. When I came to the SBA, and when I was in Washington, D.C. doing businesses abroad, one of my duties was to work with American embassies in Washington, D.C.
And
The
Sylvia,
same
may I
thing.
interject there? So it sounds like you've done some great work. And in regards to your business history, I think your resume speaks for itself. And very glad you were able to touch on those points because we want to make sure that all the businesses here understand that you have had business experience, you have the knowledge of it to provide that. And just because the sake of time, I'm going to
Yes.
ask you a different kind of question here. In regards to the SBA, I think one of the biggest things for businesses is, well, I need startup cash, I need loans. How do I write a business plan? What do I start? Who can review that? So, what are some of the type of small business assistance programs that the SBA currently offers right now?
Right now and permanently, the basic programs of the SBA are management and technical assistance,
Yes.
and this is provided through our office and through our resource partners like the Small Business Development Centers and the Women Business Centers and SCORE. When somebody wants to start a business, we
Mhm.
cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have a business plan or
Mhm.
to have something in writing, to have a vision and to have an idea of what they want to do. A lot of time, businesses or business owners, entrepreneurs, they want to start a business, and we want to make sure that the business that they want to start is profitable, that it is something that is going to take them somewhere, that is going to grow. So we encourage them to develop the vision, to develop a business plan, because it's the first thing that they are going to need in order to apply for a business loan. The bank wants to know that they have a vision and they have a plan to start a business that is going to be profitable and is going to allow them the capacity to repay the loan. So through this resource, SBA resource partners like the Women's Business Centers, the Small Business Development Centers, we can definitely help them get started and prepare them to apply for a loan. We encourage them not to go to the lender directly, because a lot of times I remember, like before the pandemic, people will walk into the office and say, I went to the bank and they told me no. And they just walked to the bank. They didn't have anything but their wallet or their purse. And of course, the bank said no because they did not have any paperwork to prove that they were going to have the capacity to repay the loan.
That's a great thing here, so because I mentioned earlier here in Hemet, majority are small businesses. So any business plan, what do you say are some of the key points or features that the business should include and why?
Some of the key points of the business plan, we would say is number one, marketing, and marketing and market research kind of go together, because if someone has an idea about a business, we want to make sure that they can sell the product or service, and that it is going to be profitable. So we encourage them to do a little bit of market research. Then we want to find out how much money they should write down, how much money they have in order to get started. And if they have a job, we encourage them not to quit the job until they know that they can launch the business. Preferably that they have some savings for 3 months, 6 months to get the business started and get it running. That would be the ideal situation. It's not the same thing for everyone. And we encourage them to get the right licenses. It is very important to have the right licenses for the businesses that they want to start. And I encourage them to work with a business counselor so that they can guide them through the process of developing the business plan. That way they have an idea, they don't miss any details, and I encourage them to take some time and plan the business plan, the development of their ideas and how they're gonna go step by step. Because sometimes people they're so excited about the business that they want to start. They want to see it running like yesterday, and sometimes they can make a lot of mistakes that can be very costly. Like let's say they identify a location and they say, this is where I see myself having my business, my beauty salon, my Michoacana business, my tacos, my coffee, and they go ahead and they sign the lease. And then the owner doesn't allow certain things, and the city doesn't let them do certain things. But they already signed the lease. They already need to make a payment, and they cannot open the doors. We have had a lot of businesses in that situation, and I had one not too long ago, and that's why I have it so fresh in my mind, because it is a very costly mistake.
And that's a very good point that you brought there. So we have a good business plan, marketing research, labor market information, and also get to know your zoning in your cities. Is it allowable usage in there? And if it isn't, connect with your city. They'll be able to help you find a location. Now, since we've seen that the SBA is on a national level, we have a new administration coming in here next month. Do you see any changes, further funding in regards to the SBA, or do you not see any changes with the new administration? What does that look like?
At this point, we don't foresee any changes in the programs.
Perfect. In regards to workshops, you had stated the SBA offers quite a few at no cost services, workshops. I see you guys have quite a few. I've joined myself a few of them. What are some of those workshops? What do they look like? And how can people find those? Are they virtual, online? I know that's four questions in one, but let me know if you would repeat that.
Yes. Sorry, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold and a cough. So, but the SBA, through our office and through our resource partners, SCORE, SBTC, and Women Business Centers, every month you can see our calendar, and hopefully you're receiving it. We teach the basics of how to start a business, how to write a business plan, like business plan, boot camp, and marketing, how to utilize social media to promote your businesses. And for businesses that are already established, we have workshops on government contracting, how to get the right certifications, how to apply for a loan, um, and QuickBooks, how to run the business, how to market, how to interview employees, how to do the operations of the business. We have workshops on every single topic that has to do with addressing the needs of the businesses.
And so, like you talked about market research and labor market information, what are some good avenues that a business may want to? For example, you had talked about a business should have a vision. Let's just say little Johnny or Susie wants to open a strawberry jam, but little do they know that there's already 50 strawberry jam businesses within a 5 mile radius. So labor market information, doing your homework is very imperative. Do you have any avenues, links, resources that people are able to get LMI information to better assist them in going into a different markets?
Yeah, definitely. If they come to the Women Business Centers or they schedule an appointment with a business consultant, also Women Business Centers or SBDC, for sure we can help them. Excuse me, we can help them identify a market or first to identify a market. If they want to open a business in the same industry, that there's so many other ones there. I would say we don't want to discourage them completely from starting that business that they have in the back of their mind, because maybe that is their talent. But what is going to distinguish them from the rest? Not everybody wants to buy the same strawberry jam. Maybe they have something different to offer, or maybe they have other ideas in the back of their mind. And by talking with a business consultant, they can figure out not only where the market need is, and where their talents are stronger to start a different kind of business in the area to fulfill a need or a product or for a product or a service. I would say if the appointments with the business consultants are free
Yes.
and they're for about an hour, they can make as many appointments as they need to develop the business plan, to run the business, or once they get started, they can come back every year, every 6 months to make sure that they're in the right direction and continue growing the business and it's not going to cost them anything. So I would say someone who's starting a business should always ask themselves or someone or the city or the Chamber of Commerce, get connected to someone and ask a question. And I believe if they ask, someone is going to know something about giving them direction to end up in the circle of the SBA, the SBDC, the Women Business Centers to help give them the resources that they need to grow the business, and they're free.
That's even better. When you say at no cost, it just gets me excited because a lot of small businesses cannot afford to pay that extra $100 for a consultant fee. So, Sylvia, I would call this the penultimate question, but who knows? We may have more as it comes up here. But just to move it along, you see a lot of businesses. You've met with a lot of businesses in your history. You've met with legacy businesses, sectors. With that said, all industries are changing every single second with artificial intelligence. It's already here. So for future generations, or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. For individuals that are looking to get into the workforce, maybe they're in high school, junior college, and are unaware that they're going to have to be competing with artificial intelligence. They're going to have to compete with international competition. We have baby boomers that have extended their working life past 70 for some of them and continue to work. So with that said, you have those three competitions in a new sector that's going to get the funnel is not as open as it used to be in the 50s and 60s. What are some of the growing sectors, industry clusters that you've seen that businesses, even cities, should be going after?
That is a really good question. We have looked at those areas, and I don't have them in front of me, but I can definitely share them with you. I don't have all of them with me, but some we do know about. Manufacturing is definitely a good area. It is said in California that we're trying to bring back manufacturing and that it is coming back and that it is changing. And I did a visit to a business that is a member with the Manufacturing Association about a month ago. And manufacturing is changing a lot. That is one area that we should definitely not let go.
Mhm.
In California, the healthcare industry,
Okay.
the food industry here in California, I would say it's a really strong industry, especially like the dry fruit industry is popular around the world, and people having the need or the interest in organic food and packaged food, like dry fruits, it's a really good industry. And there are quite a few others. it was not that question was not developed in it was as another question, so I didn't have time to research that one. But you were talking about AI, and
Yes.
AI is a very important topic to talk about and consider. I've been reading a lot about it because a lot of people feel threatened with AI,
Yes.
and I read about how doctors, nurses, and other countries are using AI, and it is only helping them do their job better. Whatever they have in front of them, AI is helping them do the research better, is helping them fulfill prescriptions faster and better. It is helping them identify the need for consulting with a patient or a client better and faster so they can dedicate time to other things that need the person to be more involved. So AI is here to stay. I used to reject it. I'm starting to embrace it because I see how much it is helping not only me, but other people and in different industries and in different sectors, including uh, the medical field. So I definitely think that we need to inform ourselves more about it and become more receptive to use it in many areas, and we need to encourage business owners to do the same because it's going to help them become more strategic in the business and just more savvy. I think that we are in a country, in a state that require us to be very educated, and I would encourage business owners at all levels, our Hispanic community. I encourage them to take classes in the evening for English, for accounting, for businesses, because we can teach them a lot of things. We can teach them a lot in the workshops, but the future requires an educated workforce, either coming out of the schools and the business owner. Like I said, we can teach them a lot. We have a lot of series of workshops of starting a business, of growing a business, of scaling um, from different levels, from to 50 to 5 million to 10 million. We have programs like that at the SBA that we run, and not every year, but like every other year, we run programs like that. But what the economy needs, what the community needs, and what they need themselves is to be educated. They need to make sure that they learn English for our Hispanic speaking community, that they learn English well so they can take advantage of the contracting opportunities that are with the city, the state, and the federal government. There's so much money there to invest in small businesses, and they need to be ready to access it, and they need to be um, able to get certified. I don't see them translating into Spanish the certification, so we need to bring the community ready to participate and have access to these contracts. And also, even the general community, if we can, okay, yes, we can give them the training, but I would like to encourage them to take classes at the community college. And in fact, I just have a brochure here because I want to encourage one of my clients that called me yesterday, and she was taken advantage of in so many areas by general contractors. She's like a subcontractor, but taking advantage of so many contractors when it comes to paying them, that the contractor would say, you need to give me a discount. We agreed on this price, but you need to give me a discount because you don't have your papers. You're an illegal immigrant, and I'm not gonna pay you the price that we agreed, and you cannot report me because you don't have your papers. It's just aggravates me that people experience that. And I said, you need to educate yourself. And I have here the brochure of a junior college that has classes on English, writing English, and Spanish, and translation, and so many other technical skills that I would encourage people to learn. It doesn't matter at what level they are. Um, to join a community college and get the basic skills going. And for the people that are already more advanced, just come to the circle of the SBA and the resource partners and take as many courses with SCORE, with the Women Business Centers, even if they don't need them right now, to take a course, to take a seminar, a webinar on a particular topic, because inevitably it's going to open their mind, it's going to open their opportunity to see other visions for the businesses, and so that they can grow the business and become more competitive.
That is a great segue, Sylvia, and thank you for that very detailed answer. This is the last one, so we can finish up, and I do appreciate your time. But you covered a few points there regarding artificial intelligence. They do say use artificial intelligence, but don't become dependent on it, because say by 2050, critical thinking is going to be a luxury. Human beings eventually will be losing critical thinking skills. We're seeing it as we speak now with the younger generation that are they live and breathe this 24/7. So it's really good to have those critical thinking skills. We've all been to the doctors recently, and you notice that when you see a doctor, it's not how it used to be. They ask the questions now on the laptop. So it's now artificial intelligence treating you as a patient. And that is my experience just recently with the doctor. It was almost as though everything I said, he would type up and, okay, well, we could have just done that in my house, you know? So it really is changing on that portion. And another thing you said in regards to becoming educated here in the city of Hemet, we've changed dramatically in regards to demographics. Sylvia, had you asked
Yes.
30 years ago, our population is much different than it is today. 48% of our population are Latinos, and we have a variety of different other demographics that represent our beautiful city. So we want to make sure we're cognizant of that. This is why we're having these types of workshops, so we can relay that. And we are going to be tackling even harder with our small businesses. So my last question to you, Sylvia, is, well, what are the goals for the SBA in the next year? What are your goals, your personal goals for SBA in regards to businesses?
Oh, yes, that's a very important question. We do have goals as a district office and as individuals, economic development specialist, lender relations specialist, and the business opportunity specialist as a district office. We have goals of going out to meet congressional representatives, going out to meet economic development managers, to make sure that you are aware that we are there in chambers of commerce. We have goals to do that. As district office, and each one of us takes a little bit of those numbers to complete the district office goals that we need to report to Washington, and as individuals that we need to report to our managers, and then they report to Washington. We have goals of having a certain number of seminars, a certain number of visits, a certain number of attendance to events like the one you had, and have a resource table there and speak with people about the SBA on one-on-one. And the number is quite large. Is close to 100 for each one of us. So that's why you see us in a lot of events, because not only it is what we like to do as well, but it's also because we are held accountable for going out to our communities and reaching out to people, not only as departments, but on an individual basis, to be at events, to be seen and to see people is the motto. Be
That's
seen
yes.
and see people. Those are our goals.
Well, you definitely are being seen here. And I do appreciate you also coming out here earlier this year. Sylvia drove out here to our beautiful city of Hemet. It's for our business roundtable. I do want to thank you on behalf of the city of Hemet for taking some time out of your busy morning to come out here virtually and do a presentation. Is there anything else, Sylvia, you'd like to let us know before we conclude this beautiful chat here? Picturing us at a beautiful conference on chairs, you know, seeing 1,000 people.
Yes,
Anything you'd like
yes.
to leave off with?
Yes, that's exactly how I picture you. And I'm at this point now, unless you have any questions, but I just want to wish everyone happy holidays and that I look forward to working with you, me and my office and our team. We look forward to working with you in the next year and to be in touch with more people in your community. Definitely, that's what we would like to do.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. We do have some, I know we've gone a little overboard here. We were trying to keep it, we try to keep this under 30 minutes, but I know I'm scheduling for an hour, but I want to be cognizant of time. But is there any questions for Sylvia this morning? All right, no problem. Go. I think Sylvia, you were so good. I think you covered all the questions. I think our council member actually has a question. Council member Mel's?
I just have a question. We have the new administration coming in, and they're talking about the tariffs, how they're going to apply tariffs on other countries. It's been a one-way street where everything that we sell to other countries, they're high tariffs and they charge us for it. Now it's going to be the other way around. So they're trying to bring manufacturing into the United States, and we have been looking at opening distribution centers, but the people have spoken, they don't want that. But manufacturing, I think we're open to. So do companies that open manufacturing business, do they usually go through the SBA, or do they have the money already to function without the SBA?
A lot of businesses have the the ability to function without the SBA. If they want to export, then and if they need funding, the SBA has three different kinds of loans for international trade, either for people to go on a mission or for individual transactions or just in general to finance exports.
Okay.
But they're usually pretty strong already when they're at that level. But definitely the SBA has several loan programs to help them finance their exports. Now,
Perfect.
when you talk about tariffs, I think the conversation, having been on international trade and having experienced the conversation about importing or exporting something, and this is too expensive and it's cheaper if I get it from another country than if I get it from the US. I think the conversation, there are going to be a lot of conversations and a lot of negotiations when it comes to tariffs. Yes, the United States imports a lot, and maybe we are not very strict. We are a country that consumes a lot, and other countries take advantage of that because they have a lot of goods to export to the United States, and we are a very welcoming country. But at the same time, other countries benefit from what we buy from them, especially third world countries and mid-level, not as advanced as the US, mid-level countries. They do benefit a lot from what we buy from them. So the conversation is going to be, I think there are going to be a lot of negotiations when it comes to tariffs because it's a two-way street. And we have to both have to win. Both have to have benefits from tariffs. I think so.
Well, right now, I believe it's a one-way street, so we're trying to make it a two-way street. So
Yeah. Yes, I hope it goes well and that it
yeah,
benefits more people than less.
thank you.
Question, council member. That's a great question because it is a conversation we hear all the time. Tariffs, is it time for the U.S. to get a piece of our own pie finally? We'll see what the new administration has, but I believe they're really big on making sure the American people are win. So we look forward to seeing what that looks like. Is there any other questions on the line before we conclude?
We need to buy American, no matter how much it
Yes,
costs.
100%. Buy American. Thank you,
Buy
Sylvia, for saying that.
American.
I'm going to quote that. Buy American from Sylvia Gutierrez. I like that.
Yeah.
Everyone heard that. Well, Sylvia, I believe, sir, did you have a question? I'm sorry.
I just actually have a comment quickly. On our website, hemetca.gov/econ-dev, we have a link to the SBA, but the SBA website is very simple. It's sba.gov. And very interestingly, they have a section of their website that focuses on managing your business. One of the additional resources is a link to a Harvard document. It's an article with helpful tips on how to write better AI prompts for business. So I would encourage you all for follow-up homework to take a look at the sba.gov website, Find that link under additional resources and managing your business for the Harvard article on how to better write prompts for AI. So another way to get there is openai.com and find ChatGPT. But Ben Sandoval is available for questions and help as follow-up if anyone would like some assistance in that way.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much for sharing that.
He's always looking. That goes without saying. So Sylvia, thank you so much again for being here. We look forward to working with you, the city of Hemet, and have a great rest of your week. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and see you next year in 2025.
2025. Thank you, Ben. It's my pleasure. Have a great day.
All right. So we're going to finish up right here in the last 5 minutes, but I want to make sure I go around the horn since this is being recorded, making sure everyone has any items to say. So before I open it up, just want to go on what I see here. I do see the chamber, Kevin Saunders, the executive director on the line. Kevin, well, anything from the chamber you'd like to let us know or update us on? And this is a partnership with the Hemet San Jacinto Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, and thank you for that, Ben. And Sylvia, I appreciate you bringing your information to this platform. It's refreshing to see, that this group has grown from the beginning. Good job, Mark Presswich and Ben Sandoval. I want to talk about some of the things that are happening at the Chamber, and we are moving, especially in the new year, to try to create more resources for the community, for the businesses, nonprofits, and faith-based organizations. We tend to be a little event heavy, and that's fine because we do want to have fun for the community. And the events are an opportunity for networking and meeting other people and businesses. So we do want to have that, but we do want to bring more resources to the community. So be on the lookout for that. Just a quick few things here in terms of events. Speaking of, we have a paint night January 24th. That's a Friday at Golden Village Palms RV and Resort. We'd love for everyone to come out to that. It's a fundraiser for the chamber. Also, we have a golf tournament at the beautiful Saboba Springs Golf Course. That's February 21st, a Friday. So all my golf players, please come out. That we always have a great time there. And then the last thing I'll mention is from our supervisor, Riverside County Supervisor Gutierrez, about his Employer Connect program. The Chamber does support that. And that's a program where you can hire an employee and then after 90 days receive $9,600 and we really want to push that. There's this thing in the community where a lot of people don't believe that it's a real or true thing. And I want to tell you that we have testimony that it is real. And I encourage everyone that's a business or an employee to take advantage of that. That is the Employer Connect program, ECP for short. We have applications at the Chamber of Commerce. So come visit us there and we can help you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Always a pleasure partnering up with our Hemet Chamber of Commerce, and Kevin's doing a great job over there. Thank you, Kevin, for coming out here this morning. Just moving along here, just to move this quickly, I do see our Director of Public Works, Noah. Anything from Public Works side?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention that in relation to our trash enclosure pilot program, we've just advertised for bids up to 24 trash enclosures. And so if anyone knows a local contractor that might be interested in constructing those, please let them know. They just need to have a Class B license. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. And where could they find that RFP to get more information?
It's posted on Planet Bids, but if they have any questions, they're welcome to contact me or our procurement administrator.
Perfect. Thank you, Noah. I also appreciate that. I also see our Director of Public Community Development, Monique. Anything from Community Development side?
Yeah, good morning, and thank you, Ben. I just wanted to say this morning with this discussion that as part of support for businesses, the Community Development Planning and Zoning Division is here to help new businesses identify areas in town where they're looking to do business. We're here to support and provide information on zoning and entitlements. So if anyone's interested in putting in a business, it's always best practice to communicate with our department, just so we can make sure you're at the right location. And I really like the discussion about ensuring that you don't sign a lease agreement before you open up your business. Make sure that that'll save time, money, and delay. So thank you.
Thank you, Monique, for that. Truly appreciate that. I also see our fire chief, Eddie Sell. Chief, anything from the fire side?
So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I actually was a recipient of an SBA loan in a past life and a struggling restaurant owner. So you guys do some outstanding work for the community. And as a fire chief with the perspective of having been a small business owner, I very much understand how important it is for government to work with everyone in our community. So on the fire and life safety side, we actually are enhancing our website. So that should be coming out shortly, and trying to do things in particular on the building and safety side of the house to have documents readily available for our business community. And with that, Sylvia, fight on.
Thank you, Chief, for those words. Just kind of finishing it off here, we do have our council member, Miles. Council member, anything on your end, sir, before we conclude here?
I just want to thank Sylvia for coming on and giving us the important information needed. I too had a business out of the city of Whittier, and when I opened up an office after a couple of years of running my networking company, I went and got my license, and it was really quick, and and was able to get it within a day and a half, I believe. And I'd like to see us be able to help our new business come in with licensing and permits and not have the hassle of red tape and get through the process a lot easier. But thank you.
Thank you, council member. And before I pass it over to our city manager, was there anybody on the line that would like to say that have not called on that would like to say a few words or updates?
Yes. Hi, Trish here. I think it would be a great idea if you guys had like a webinar for small businesses on the importance of zoning. Just so that way they know before, like you said, the importance of signing a lease before they get into something. I think that'll be a great idea, just to say, this is zoning, this is what it is, this is why it's important, and then have like a category of the zoning and then what permits you need for that zoning for those businesses. And it could be like generic bakers, tax offices, nonprofits, like stuff like that. So that way the population will have an idea, because right now no one knows. Like, well, I'm a business owner. I just signed a lease. I'm $1 a day too late, but it's an all-purpose office. But it'd be great to know that like stuff like that was important. So I think having one of these business meetings and saying, hey, let's do, on the zoning and what it is and who to get in contact with and how and all of that would be great.
Chris, I think you've already selected our future guest speaker already. So I'll connect with Monique and Elise on how we can go back and forth and go with that. That's a great suggestion on zoning. So thank you for selecting our future next speaker there. That's a great idea. Anything else from anybody before we close it off here?
Good morning. Good morning. I apologize. I'm not able to show my face, but I saw you yesterday at the grand opening. I'm fairly new. My name is Fisha Mosley, and my husband and I are new to the HEMIC community.
Okay.
And we've certainly been looking to find our purpose as well as our place here. I am new as an ambassador with the Chamber of Commerce and connecting with Mr. Kevin. So kudos to him for being on here. And somehow I got this email and it triggered an interest to me to find out what this would be all about. So this is my first time hearing, and I'm extremely inspired by what I've heard, and I'm going to be on a journey to figure out forward where to move to and how to maneuver in this community and how to be of relevance as well. And so just wanted to say that thank you for the speaker for bringing some insight. And I did get a couple of websites to take a look at to do some investigation and see how that can direct us. But for the most part, I'm just excited to be here and have heard something that has really motivated me to move and to become more inquisitive in this business. So thank you.
Well, thank you for selecting the city of Hemet and welcome to our beautiful city. I promise you won't regret it. You're here for a nice ride. So thank you for selecting the city of Hemet. So just to kind of close it off here, I have one item, and I'll pass it over to Mr. Presswich. The city of Hemet is working on an economic summit. It would be one of the first ones we've had. We will be having a professor from a university come out and do a market and research and an economic overview forecast of 2025 regionally, county, and city. So this is our first one, and it's going to be a truly a beautiful forecast of what to expect the next year or two. Maybe you're thinking, hey, our interest rate's going to drop down. How's it looking? Well, come out and find out. Be on the lookout for the flyer early January, but we are planning to have an economic summit with some very great speakers sometime in late February, early March. So that is all I have for my end this morning. Mr. Presswich, anything from the city manager side?
No, just grateful for everyone participating today. Great conversation. We'll see you next month. And as I mentioned at the beginning, if you're interested in some Chick-fil-A, there's going to be a pop-up at the Hemet Valley Mall tomorrow from 3 to 7 p.m. They have more chicken. They have more employees. We have bathrooms, tables. We're augmenting some of that in partnership with Chick-fil-A. So thanks, everyone. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, sir, and happy birthday. And we will see everyone on the next one. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.